You know that moment when you look at your nails and think, okay, this is officially gone too far. That's me today, on camera, overgrown nails, no excuses, no glamour shots, just the actual correction process, start to finish. My last video doing my own nails hit 17K views, so clearly this is a topic people want. Today, we're taking it further. Full correction, no diamond bits, no surface filing, just the efficient way. Stick around to the end. I'm going to show you something at the finish that most nail educators keep behind a paywall. You get it free today. And there are 3 technical details hidden in this video that most nail artists never talk about. See if you catch them. Look at the growth here. My nails naturally grow downward, which means at this length, the weight distribution is off. And when coverage extends too far without reinforcement, you get a lever effect. The nail snaps. Every time. Right at the stress zone, the lateral points where the natural nail meets the enhancement. And this isn't random. The longer the unsupported span, the more torque at that junction. It's basic structural mechanics applied to a 2mm surface. And yes, I also catch on everything. Keyboard, fabric, doorknobs. The usual overgrown nail experience. Not my best work. If you've ever pushed a correction past the point of comfort, hit like. No judgment. We've all been there. Let's talk about the stress zone, specifically the apex. That's the highest point of the arch, where your builder gel needs to be thickest. As the nail grows out, that apex migrates toward the free edge. The arch loses its load-bearing function, and the new growth closest to the cuticle ends up bearing load it was never designed to handle. Here's what nobody explains. The new growth between the gel and the cuticle, zero protection. No builder gel, no reinforcement whatsoever. You have bare natural nail with all its flexibility and thinness carrying the full cantilever weight of the enhancement above it. One lateral impact on that zone and it's over. This is exactly why timely corrections matter structurally, not just aesthetically. If this kind of no gatekeeping breakdown is what you're here for, subscribe. More of this coming. Before we get into the process, I need to address something. I'm not using diamond bits today. Not for surface filing, not around the cuticle. That's intentional, and here's the technical reason. Diamond bits are aggressive by design. Around the cuticle area, you're working millimeters from the matrix. The issue isn't the bit itself, it's pressure control. Without extensive practice, you can't feel the difference between gel and natural nail at that depth, and the consequences of getting it wrong are not reversible. The nail matrix is the tissue under the cuticle where the nail plate is generated. It's not protected by bone. It's not behind anything. Damage it with an e-file, even once, even lightly, and you trigger permanent wave deformity in the nail plate. That nail will grow out ridged for the rest of that person's life. No treatment corrects matrix scarring. I'm not dramatizing. That's the clinical reality. So unless you have hands-on training with pressure feedback, buffer only near the cuticle. Every time. Quick question. Are you a correction on schedule person or a I'll do it when I absolutely have to person? Drop it in the comments. Genuinely curious about the ratio. One more thing before the demo. Nail arches. People treat nails like they're flat surfaces. They're not. Every nail has a longitudinal arch running fingertip to cuticle and a transverse arch running side to side. When you file without consciously managing both axes, each nail ends up with different geometry, and inconsistent arches mean inconsistent load distribution. And here's the anatomical reality. No 2 nails are identical, not even on the same hand. Dominant hand nails are measurably wider, right for right-handed, left for left-handed. I'm left-handed. I'm working my non-dominant right hand today. The method I use accounts for that asymmetry. You can do both hands solo with this approach. One more thing on arches. When you're doing your non-dominant hand, the tendency is to over-flatten. You lose tactile precision. The portable UV lamp solves part of this. Pre-curing the cuticle zone lets you check and adjust the transverse arch from underneath before committing to a full cure. That's the move. Everything I'm using today, carbide bits, double-sided buffer, portable UV lamp, upper forms, are covered in my course playlist. Link in description. That's where the full technique breakdown lives, with the anatomical context behind each step. Process. Step 1. large diameter carbide bit to reduce length and remove bulk from the top surface. Simultaneously, I file the underside. Here's why. When you shorten the nail, the internal thickness is exposed at the cut edge. That thickness needs to be relieved from below because we're going to build new material on top and correct the arch. If you leave that inner bulk, your new application sits on an uneven base. Switch to smaller diameter carbide bits for lifts. There aren't many, but they're there because I pushed this correction longer than I should have. Classic nail tech who never does her own nails on time. You might relate. Now, the double-sided buffer. Coarse or grit first. Clean the skin around the nail with circular motion, light pressure. Flip to fine grit, degloss the nail plate, and remove pterygium. That's the thin skin layer that adheres to the nail surface. Assembly line method. Run the coarse side across all nails first, then run the fine side across all nails. Don't switch back and forth per nail. You lose time and consistency. File only the lower laterals, the parallel lines that have dropped below axis. They need to run parallel to the central axis of the finger. Bringing them up now means less post-application filing, which means less risk of thinning the new material before it's had a chance to do its job. That's the full prep. Dust off, wipe nails clean, apply base coat, into the lamp. And while that cures, here's what I'm working with today. I mixed this gel. Clear builder gel base, natural dried flowers, and a significant amount of glitter. More glitter than most people would consider structurally justified. Spring is approaching and floral requests are spiking right now across every market. If you do nail work, that's a data point worth acting on. Florals in gel are not a micro-trend. They're going to run through the season. Upper forms. Non-negotiable, the form must fully cover the stress points at both lateral walls. That's the structural reinforcement zone, the structural foundation of the enhancement. Insufficient lateral coverage means the gel application will fail at the stress zone, typically within 3 to 4 weeks. You need material margin on both sides, not just at the tip. I'm using a portable UV lamp to pre-cure just the cuticle zone. That locks the proximal end while the rest stays workable. Then I flip the hand and adjust the underside curve, correcting the transverse arch from below. This is the move I mentioned earlier, less E-file correction after. Filming in 4K so you can see the cuticle zone at full detail. That area gets zero filing after full cure. full hand in the lamp, forms off, clean stamp. No bubbles, no voids, no imperfections at the cuticle line. Any material that crept under the form edge removes cleanly. Fork file for the lateral parallel lines, shaped oval. Small carbide bit for inner curve refinement. Finish file for final edge, done. No top coat on the surface, only on the underside. It holds. If you want evidence, I'll show you my other hand right now. 1 month of wear, no top coat applied at any point. The gloss has softened slightly, the structure is intact. I'd like to see comparable results with a different system. Leave it in the comments if you have them. Full correction, no diamond bits, no surface filing, no unnecessary steps. Carbide bits, double-sided buffer, upper forms, and a portable UV lamp, and a clear understanding of what each tool is doing structurally. If you want to learn the full technique from the ground up, my course playlist has everything, including the anatomy behind it, and the original Doing My Own Nails video that hit 17K is in the description. Beauty that is, above all, safe. See you in the next one.